The most avoided UFC fighter in every weight class. In this video, I'm going to be talking about fighters who I just feel like being ducked and people aren't trying to fight them. Whether it's the champions ducking them, whether it's just like other people in the ranks ducking them. In this video, bro, we gonna talk about who getting ducked and who's not getting ducked. Because I feel like in this generation, it's like the generation of ducking. It's like it's okay to duck. It's okay to avoid fights, especially when you're champion. But this is not just about champions. It's about everyone. Any fighter could duck. So I'm going to be talking about the most ducked fighters. So all y'all niggas with no hairlines, get ready and let's get into this video. First off, starting with the flyweight division, this one's weird because the thing about this division is that I feel like everyone kind of fights everyone. But if I had to look at it from like a holistic point of view and seeing like who do people not really ask to call out, I'm going to say Kai France. And I know it's kind of like for Kai France because he had that robbery loss over Amir Albazi. Like, they gave it to Amir Albazi despite him getting outworked majority of the fight and only scoring like one takedown out of like 9-10 attempts. It was kind of a bad I don't know why they gave it to him. So it makes sense why people don't want to call him out after that loss because they have the excuse like, oh, he lost the fight, so we don't got to call him out. But after knocking out Steve Erceg, it almost seems like Kai France next up in line for the belt. I don't really see Pantoja pushing for it, but Pantoja might have something else booked. I don't really know what else booked. I heard that Japanese guy would never actually came to the UFC and like wasn't scheduled to fight. And I haven't seen Pantoja fight in a little bit. And Kai France didn't take enough like that much damage, so I feel like he should be up next for the title. But no one's calling him out. And not even if he's not up next for the title, you don't see anyone else calling him out. Kai France just knocked out Steve Erceg, who just fought for the title recently. You should see a lot of people jumping out the bit to like try to fight Kai France so they could get put in that next title spot or the next title picture, or even the champion calling out Kai France. But you don't see anybody calling out Kai France because this kid is a future champion. I've been staying on my channel for a long time. Kai France is that guy, and no one wants to fight him because it's like a high-risk fight. No one wants to go in there and actually try to throw hands with him. He's putting people like Cody Garbrandt to sleep, putting people like Steve Erceg to sleep. He got heavy hands, bro. He's a fucking crazy. You see how he looks in face-offs. This dude's psycho, so no one wants to fight him, bro. And his hairline is perfect, you feel me? So this is why people ain't trying to like really fight the dude, so it's kind of crazy. So yeah, I just feel like as far as flyweight goes, everyone kind of fights everyone, but I feel like Kai France, like no one likes calling him out. He's just the most avoided fighter. It's one of those things. In the Bantamweight weight class at 135, of course, I think it's Umar Nurmagomedov for obvious reasons. Of course, you see people like Merab saying he doesn't deserve the title shot despite beating Corey Sandhagen, which is the most obvious person to beat for a title shot. Corey Sandhagen, who brutalized Chito Vera. Chito Vera got one win after that and was still able to get a title shot. You see some bullshit like that. But the same people are turning around and be like, oh, Corey Sandhagen is such a dangerous fighter after he gets 50-45 by Umar. Yeah, Corey was never that good, dude. Like, Corey was never that good. Like, they just try to make these weird narratives of someone like Steve Erceg gets a title shot, who's like number 11 ranked. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense because we like Steve Erceg. But when Umar beats the number 2 ranked guy, then to get a title shot, it's not like Umar just went straight to the title. Like, he didn't pull a Steve Erceg and go straight to the title. He actually beat a number 2 ranked guy who was up there in the rankings and beat him considerably, 50-45. And then he should be getting a title shot next. But Merab's like, yeah, I don't think he deserves it. And the fans are like, yeah, I agree, man. Like, he just beat the number 2 ranked guy. He doesn't deserve it. Someone like, Sugar, he's getting surgery, but maybe we could rush the surgery and he could, like, shut up, nigga. Like, we know Umar Nurmagomedov is ducked. Even on his whole way to the title, he was ducked. People are like, he hasn't fought anyone. Same thing could be said with Islam. You guys know why Islam had the longest unbeaten streak in the lightweight division, but never fought like any high ranked opponents? Because no one wanted to fight him. So people are like mad at like people like Umar and Islam, like before their title shot, like, why they're fighting nobodies? Because everyone's ducking them. Like, how are you supposed to fight somebody when no one wants to fight you because they know how hard of a fight you are? That's what the disconnect is. That's what the casual fans pretend like they don't know what's happening. They're like, yeah, man, I just don't know, dude. It's like not very radical if Umar gets a title shot. He only beat the best guy in the division outside of the championship fight. So why would he get the title shot for that? He only beat him 50-45. Who cares? You guys sound stupid as shit. So yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov is definitely the most ducked, the most avoided bantamweight for good reason too, because he's very complete, very well rounded, and he's very talented. In the featherweight weight class, this one's interesting. I'm gonna say Movsar Evloev. I feel like he's just one of the more avoided fighters. Of course, when Aljo put out a 307, it was kind of like a big deal because like we knew no one else was going to step up and fight Movsar on short notice. He's not one of those fighters you could take on short notice. Like, I know some people are ballsy. Like, they'll probably say the same about Hamza, like no one fight him on short notice. But there's people like Usman who don't give a fuck who would do that because they're a bad motherfucker. And there's other people who are like, yeah, dude, like Movsar's too high risk, man. I can't risk it. They reached out to a lot of people. They all denied. No surprise there. Last person to fight him on short notice was Diego Lopez, who's actually running through the weight class pretty well. And Movsar beat him pretty comfortably. So like, no one's gonna want to fight Movsar on short notice or fight him period in general because he's just a very like overwhelming style, especially for the featherweight weight class that like it seems to be run by strikers. Like, I feel like Volkanovski is a pretty good striker. Same with Holloway. Same with Ilya. They can mix it up to a certain extent, but I feel like in a division that seems like it's ruled by majority strikers, people like Movsar stick out like a sore thumb because they know stylistically he's going to be a very hard challenge for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Movsar's going to mix it up and he's going to make it very hard for you to win. So that's what I'm saying as far as featherweight goes, it gotta be Movsar Evloev. I don't see anyone else who's like ducked to the point of Movsar in that division, so I'm gonna say 100% Movsar. And next, if he beats Alger, I think the winner of him and Alger will get a title shot. But I'm sure the champ Ilya is not gonna want to do that. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Movsar is definitely one of the most ducked people, especially in the featherweight weight class. Lightweight. Okay, lightweight's interesting. I got an interesting one for you guys in lightweight. I'm gonna say it's Fiziev. Like, I feel like nobody wants to fight Fiziev. He's the number 9 ranked guy, so I'll cut him some slack. Like, it's a high risk, low reward fight if you're ahead of him in the ranks. However, people like Moicano, who just beat BSD, was like, yeah, he's ahead of me, but I still don't want to fight him. Like, what, bro? You don't want to fight him? And I get it. Why? Because, like, of course, we know how hard of a fight Fiziev is, so we know why someone like Moicano wouldn't want to fight him again. Like, Fiziev beat the shit out of Moicano. Let's just call it how it is. And then people like Paddy Pimblett are trying to, like, jump the line and fight someone, like, easier stylistic matchups instead of fighting someone like Fiziev, because they know that if he fights Fiziev, he's probably not going to go up in the rankings. So I understand why Fiziev is avoided and ducked. Like, it's not like he's, like, in a title contention, but being the number 9 ranked guy, there's people like Jalen Turner, Paddy Pimblett, Moicano, BSD, they're all behind you in the ranks, but not one of them will call out your name because they know what's going to happen in that fight. I feel so bad for him because he looked great in the Game Rock fight before he hurt himself. So, like, he's one of those fighters that everyone kind of understands is very talented and very good, but it's almost like no one wants to fight with him. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they feel like they don't feel confident in their abilities, so they think they're going to lose. So that's why I say Moicano is like, he's one of those fighters that like no one wants to smoke with because they don't really believe in their attributes enough to be able to beat someone like that, especially because he's like in a weird spot in the rankings. So like, yeah, if they beat him, they're going to go up in the rankings, but they want to just get fast tracked. They want this one fight that a title shot, so they're trying to like fight other people down the rankings, like people like Gamrot and other people like who are like Dan Hooker and stuff like that, because they feel like stylistically that they match up a little bit better for them, which is crazy. So Fiziev's definitely the most stuck lightweight. In the welterweight division, this one's weird. I feel like a lot of casuals will say Shavkat Rakhmonov, but I don't think you guys know how much people call out Shavkat like on a daily basis. He's probably the most called out fighter in welterweight. So I don't think Shavkat's the most avoided. This one's going to be weird, but I think it's Kamaru Usman. The reason I'm saying Kamaru Usman is because he's the number 2 ranked welterweight in the world. You know, Leon Edwards is the only one ahead of him. JDM's not calling him out. JDM probably is going to need like a fight than a title shot because Shavkat's probably next. So why is JDM not calling out Usman? Why don't I see Ian Gary calling out Usman? Like, we need stuff like that to happen. But like people like JDM and like Ian Gary, maybe their deficiencies lie in like defensive wrestling and wrestling in general, so they don't want a Usman fight. But Usman is the number 2 guy. He has to fight someone, so someone has to grow a pair of balls and want to fight him. Of course, Leon Edwards not going to bother calling him out because he already beat him 2 times, and it's a risky fight for him. Why would he take it again? He just lost the pressure, and that's going to give Usman even more confidence to just come how he came in the first fight and the second fight. In the second fight, he was destroying him for the head kick. In the first fight, he destroyed him. Like, it's going to give Usman that much more confidence. So of course, Leon's not going to want to call him out. So it's just like everyone in welterweight just doesn't want to smoke. MVP is probably not going to. Actually, MVP, I think he's one of the few who actually wanted to fight Usman, but he lost to Ian Gary, so that kind of went down the drain. But yeah, other than MVP, who's always kind of just game to fight anyone, I don't see anyone else calling out Kamaru Usman. So I just think he's a ducked fighter to the sense that they know they probably have to beat him to get to the title, but they're not eager to call him out because stylistically, Usman is he's just a dog. He's a workhorse. He's going to outwork you for 5 rounds straight. They know he has that championship mentality. So they all should be wanting to fight Usman, like fight a former champion who's ran through the division for a long period of time, who people think are coming out of his prime because he lost to Khamzat Chimaev, who's probably going to be the 185 champion in less than, like, what, 4 months? But we'll see, man. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, they take too much from the Khamzat fight, like Khamzat's like a bad fighter or something, but this is why the welterweights probably aren't calling him out, because they kind of like, oh yeah, Khamzat's kind of scary, and Usman stole 2 rounds on him, arguably, so we don't really want that smoke, which is why you don't see Usman getting called out by any welterweight. So I'm going to say, as far as welterweight goes, Usman's the most avoided fighter. Now, for the middleweight division, we're going to talk about Khamzat Chimaev, who Usman just fought because Usman's ballsy, but other than Usman, I don't see any middleweight calling for Khamzat. Like, Robert Whittaker is like a fucking G. This is why I love Whittaker, because he's the type to, like, he'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. It doesn't really matter where you're fighting him. He's going to be game to fight you. So shout out Robert Whittaker. You know, took Ikram on short notice when he was supposed to fight Khamzat initially, and after he beat Ikram, he's probably grew in confidence for the Khamzat fight. So now he's gonna actually fight Khamzat. Fingers crossed, bro. 308. I'm keep looking at the date and stuff and the time, because I'm hoping Khamzat does not pull out. I have my notifications on for every Khamzat post, because if he pulls out, bro, that card, like, that's my most anticipated fight of the year. Like, I want to see that fight more than any other fight on the planet right now. So I really want that fight to happen. Khamzat's a fun fighter, and the fact that someone's actually game to fight Khamzat is even more intriguing to me, because Robert Whittaker's like, yeah, I want the smoke. What's up with it? Other than Robert Whittaker, ain't no one calling out Khamzat Chimaev. I even said DDP. DDP just said recently, actually, I saw this today before I posted this video. He said that if Robert Whittaker wins, he'll get the title shot, but he didn't say anything about if Khamzat wins. In my opinion, if Khamzat wins, he should get the title shot too, because what? That would be back-to-back Usman and Robert Whittaker. Those are 2 great wins. Sean Strickland should not get a title shot over Khamzat. The last 2 fights was a Paulo Costa win and lost to DDP. It just wouldn't make sense. So that's why I'm saying that Hamza would definitely deserve it more if he beats him. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if DDP is not jumping at the bit to fight like a Hamza Chimaev, because that's fucking Hamza Chimaev. Ain't no one's gonna fight it. Like, speaking of stylistic mismatches, like, Hamza is just one of those overwhelming styles for anybody because his wrestling's that absurdly great. So, like, no one's gonna want to fight Hamza. So that's why I'm gonna give Hamza the respect. I'm gonna say he's the most avoided fighter in the middleweight division. Light heavyweight division. I wonder who's the most avoided light heavyweight, bro. It's Magomed Ankalaev, of course. Alex Pereira doesn't want to fight him, of course. You know, Rakic didn't even want to fight him. Rakic was forced to fight him. Rakic is a lamb to the slaughter. That's how I feel bad. You ain't never see Rakic call out Ankalaev. The truth of the matter is, they just didn't want Pereira to fight him, so they're like, oh shit, we gotta throw someone to the wolves, bro. Rakic, right? You just lost a year. You just fucking go fight Ankalaev. You just coming off a loss now. Go fight Ankalaev. So, poor Rakic, gonna have to suffer the fate of just losing to Ankalaev just because they didn't want Pereira to fight him. So, and I'm sure after Pereira beats Khalil, he's not gonna want to fight Ankalaev. He's probably gonna call out like Carlos Ulberg or something, or Jamal Hill for a rematch. You know, just or the UFC. You guys can call me crazy now, but when it happens, you're gonna be like, oh shit, you're right. Or Jan Blachowicz or something. Something bizarre, bro. Something bizarre. Trust me, I wouldn't be surprised. And like, you guys are probably like, why would they do that? Why are they milking it? Because like, you guys gotta realize, Alex Pereira brings money into the sport. He's like one of the faces of the UFC. If they see a Russian guy with a scruffy beard just go in there and maul him, that's bad for business for some people. But so that's why people hate that. That's the truth of the matter. People can try to gaslight you, like, you're crazy, dude. That's not why. It's just that, you know, Ankalaev doesn't deserve it, but like Khalil Rountree deserves it. Khalil Rountree's he beat you know, Anthony Smith. So when Ankalaev beat, but yeah, you know, I don't really know what they'll say, but like, you know what I'm saying, these no neck, no hairline having dudes be saying the most bullshit stuff. So yeah, of course, Ankalaev's ducked. No one wants to fight him. No contender, no champion, no one even wants to like be in the same room with him because they're too scared, bro. Like, he's such a dangerous figure. One of the most entertaining light heavyweights. People try to gaslight other people saying, oh, he has a boring style because they never watched Ankalaev actually fight. So of course, the most avoided light heavyweight is Ankalaev for obvious reasons. In the heavyweight division, this is also no surprise. The most avoided and the most ducked heavyweight is Tom Aspinall. When I say most ducked, I'm really just pointing out John Jones not wanting to fight him because they know the high risk, high reward too. Because if you beat Aspinall, that's gonna be like, you're gonna get praised for that. I think I think Jones is under the delusion that, yeah, dude, if I beat the youngster, they're just gonna say he wasn't a good fighter. No, if you beat the old Stipe, we're gonna say he wasn't the good fighter at the time. Like, he's gonna try, like, in a couple years, he's gonna be like, yeah, by the way, like 5 years ago, guys, I beat the heavyweight GOAT. And then he's gonna try to gaslight people, and it will work for like the newer fans until like, but like people like us who actually were watching the sport at the time in 2024, we know that Stipe was not the hardest heavyweight on the market. We knew it was Tom Aspinall, but for now, it's gonna look bad. In the future, he's gonna look good. He's kind of smart in that aspect. Honestly, it's really just Jones who ducks him. Almeida said he wanted to fight. Cyril Gahn seems down for the fight with Aspinall, but you know, the guy who needs it most is just ducking most. Heavyweights kind of just fight every other heavyweights. Heavyweights are like game. I think Johnson Almeida is like ducked. I think Cyril Gahn wanted no business at Johnson Almeida because of stylistic mismatch. So I do think Johnson Almeida is an honorable mention. But as far as like the whole heavyweights go, I feel like it's only fair to like talk about Tom Aspinall because Jones ducking him is the most blatant duck in UFC history. So yes, this is my video. This is the most duck fighters in every division. Let me know what you think down below. I feel like I cooked on this list, but that's it for me, and God bless. 2, 3.